Yeah, I'm miserable at what's coming on here to unlock this cold and everything.
Yeah. Amazing. Oh, I dreamt of coming home.
You know what I should do?
What?
I should carry you over the threshold.
No, don't do that, please.
Well, only because we're starting a new life with no more dogs.
Hey, took you to get us in the hospital. Everything all right? Everything seems okay, so, welcome home.
What the hell are you doing here?
Well, I was in the neighbourhood, so I thought, why not drop into the laveries, have a poke around, see that there's no nasty little surprises waiting.
Well, you're surprised enough. What else could there possibly be?
You might know better than I.
Grant Putnam is in the asylum, yes? He was the only threat.
We can only hope.
Who's that?
It's all in. It's okay.
Oh, man, I should have been out here greeting you guys instead of making all that clatter scaring the daylights out of everyone. Welcome back, chum.
It's lovely to see you. You know, when I heard that noise, it made me think of Philomena.
I guess this is your first time back since the, kidnapping.
Yeah, and she was killed. Wow. It must have been so tough on you. And on top of almost dying yourself, you come home and find your old friend gone. It's awesome.
I know. I haven't really thought about it very much, but... Well, you know, coming in here and seeing when she was laying and everything...
You know, Putnam told me that he hadn't expected the fight that he got from you two.
If I'd got here a few minutes earlier, I might have been able to
Anna.
do something.
Hannah, look. Don't you think that Philomena would have been happy to die to save Robin?
Hey, dude, I think you all need a drink.
What a good idea.
I'll go get some.
You know, do you remember the story about how we met Philomena? You remember any of that?
Of course.
You sure you remember it?
Yes. I'll never forget her surprised look when we walked out of the water. Did I ever tell you that story?
No, I don't believe you did, but go ahead, tell me.
Come on, you tell us. Here we go, dudes. A little nerve tonic won't hurt any of you.
Thank you.
Damn right.
No problem.
Thank you.
Just yell when you need a refill.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, let me think see if I remember this. Anna and I were on a mission together.
For the WSB.
Right. The usual cloak and dagger stuff. But we didn't know each other too well in those days, and from what I recall, we weren't too impressed with what we knew.
No. In fact, we fought like cat and dog for 3 weeks, even though we were supposed to be this happily married couple.
Yeah. Well, there was quite a bit to fight about back in those days. Your beloved wife was a little on the shifty side.
I seem to remember that one couldn't be too careful around a certain Australia.
Let's not confuse the story now. You know, as is often the case when you're on one of these missions, there's always someone chasing you. And in our case, that was what was happening. 2 less than desirable individuals, as I recall. So what we had to do was get across the border from France to Italy without any papers.
How did you manage that?
We swam.
I can still remember walking out of the surf, hoping that it was Italy, and seeing this little old Italian lady sitting on the beach, regarding us rather curiously, as if we were something from the planet Zoff.
Philomena.
Right.
Yeah. Bless her heart. She took us in like we were nearly her family.
Which, come to think of it, is what we ultimately became.
I think she saw something in us that we hadn't realized ourselves.
What was that?
I don't know. All this bickering and arguing was just to cover up something, something else.
Yeah, I think I know.
Well, it all kind of hit the fan when she realized that we weren't married. Before we knew it, the local bishop pedaled into town and she'd arranged everything.
There we were in the middle of our wedding with all these people we didn't know. It was nice then.
The whole thing sounds very romantic. I wish I'd been there.
Philomena the matchmaker. You know, I think that's how she'd like to be remembered.
I'm also as Robin's grandmother.
Well, let's drink a toast to Philomena. May her soul be resting peacefully wherever it is.
Yes, that's nice. Everything's set here now. I know you're very busy and you have to get back to the office, so thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're busy with other people's business.
Well, Lewis is covering for me. I said I'd be back when I established the ground rules here.
Who are you to set the rules for how we live our lives?
I don't care how you live your life. I'm here for Anna and Robin. Incidentally, how many hours do you spend around here?
Oh, come on, man. You're pushing this a
Well,
bit
Rob's
too far.
just trying to help us, that's all.
Yeah, I'm sure he is trying to help. But once you finish cutting all this baloney, will you kindly leave?
When I'm satisfied. Now, about the hours,
I heard the question. Well, my hours vary. I usually close the club about 1 a.m. That gets me home around 2 a.m. I wake up in the morning, I have a little breakfast, if that's all right. Then I usually head back to the club about 3 p.m. All right?
and of course, Anna's going to be here, unless, of course, she's out shopping or doing whatever.
For the next week, but then I'd like to start back at work.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Well, I think I'll feel strong enough to do that.
Why don't we talk about that involvement later on?
Come on, I own half the business. I'm a partner.
Let's discuss it later.
No, I don't have to discuss it later. How we live our lives and our careers is our business, not yours.
Look, I realise that, and fine. But we'll discuss it later. Now, in the meantime, Olin will continue doing what she's doing, collecting Robin and bringing her back here. I've given her a mobile telephone which is connected direct to the police station in the event that something might happen.
Hold on a second. Is there something else going on here that we don't know about?
Is there something else?
Well, nothing specific. But I think we all know, especially you, Anna, that trouble can arrive at all sorts of strange places from almost anywhere. Now, in the meantime, Olin will continue doing what she's doing. You will be here till 3 o'clock, and then when you leave, there'll be an off-duty police officer take over.
Hold on 1 second. Who the hell's going to pay for all these off-duty police officers? I can't afford that. And besides that, I can take care of my own family.
Can you? I'm the subject of the alarm that was installed downstairs. Now, I know that Philomena used to turn it off because it somewhat confused her, but it's been reactivated. Olin understands the technology a little bit better, so it's now on.
Hold on, please. You're becoming a bit of a nuisance, you know. You haven't listened to one thing we had to say. You just keep battling on about what you want. Well, I'm not having any, but do you understand?
Wow, Mommy, Daddy, that's so cute.
Sweetheart. Oh, did you have a good day at school?
Can Daddy stay for dinner?
I don't know, sweetheart. I just got back from the hospital. You know that.
Robin, Mummy's very tired. She's got to take it easy after all she's been through.
You see, kiddo, why don't you and I make a raid on a cookie jar out there, There's a hot rumor that somebody baked some fresh homemade cookies today.
Go and get some cookies and milk. Go on, let's go.
Oh, sweetheart, in answer to your question, yes, I will be staying for dinner, and then after that, we'll have a nice long chat. Okay? Okay, off you go. Come on.
Julie, you said he's staying for dinner? Not only is he going to run the place like a police department, he's going to catch free meals into the bargain.
Look, you've interrupted me so many times, I've forgotten where I am with this plan.
Did we get a vote in the plan,
Well,
maybe?
sure you do, but look, it's all worked out. Don't worry about it. Now, I leave work at the usual time. I come straight over here and relieve the officer from the afternoon shift.
Well, that means you'll be having dinner with us every night, then.
Hey, you didn't have to do that, but thanks, sweetheart.
Well, listen, you better listen to me. I'm not going to have you and your wireless telephones and your little lists and your off-duty policemen running about this house. Do you understand that?
You don't have much choice. I happen to have enemies out there, and I trust you probably have just as many. And I won't have anyone messing with my daughter again. Final.
You have a head as big as Gibraltar, and it's also just as hard.
Okay,
You buzz off,
then we'll
Buster.
just
Go on,
stop
buzz
quarreling,
off. I'm not quarreling. I'm going to knock his bloody head off.
You wish.
You leave. Bye. Bye-bye.
All right, I'm going. But look, try to explain to him
Yes.
in not big words what's going on
Okay,
with
bye,
Buzz
Robert.
off. He's gone daft, you know. He's gone completely daft. If he comes here for dinner, take him out to the back porch and feed him with a dog.
All right. Just calm down. I meant what I said. I know he makes you angry, but he's a very irritating person. He gets his teeth into anything, that's just the way he is.
What do you suggest we do? Push all the furniture up against the door when we see him come up the garden path? Robin's going to love that.
Oh, come on. He'd love that, too. He loves any kind of resistance. All he needs is a little peace and quiet for a week. As soon as he knows there's no more Grant Putnams out there, he'll be fine.
A week? I had to look at that self-effacing mug across my dinner table for 1 week.
Well, maybe he'll get bored and go away.
Well, it can't be too soon for me. As far as I'm concerned, the only threat to peace and security and safety in this house is Robert Scott.